Here a while back, I was at Harbor Freight and I was looking at their burnishing polishing tools. It's also referred to as a surface conditioner. I've also heard it called a drum sander. Now I got to looking at Vevor, but I figured I'd look on their website and see if they had one and see what the price was. Well, sure enough, they had one, and the price before the discounts and such as that was $88, and it come with 4 of the drums, 80 grit. I've got one here. We're going to take a look at it and see what kind of bargain you get for that amount of money. Then we're going to put it to the test. All right, let's set this aside. This is something I ordered separate from this. This is a one of the wheels, fiber wheels. Got this one off of Amazon. These things are readily available at Harbor Freight, Amazon, and this is a 36 grit. I wanted something really coarse for times I have real rusty steel or whatever. This should do really good. Now this thing the website says these are 80 grit. I was watching a video and a guy was calling these 120 grit, but I think he was confusing it. In the owner's manual, it gives dimensions on these, and it says 120 millimeter by, I forget the other, but I think that's where he got a little confused. These are in fact 80 grit. All right, there's a guard for the tool itself. There's 2 more of these. There's some of the accessories put it together with, and here's the tool itself. I was kind of surprised, first time I ever seen one of these at Harbor Freight. These things are huge. I mean, that's about the size of a cantaloupe. They're I think they're 4 inches this way by 4.5. I mean, you know, it's big. And by the time you get that on here, it's pretty impressive. So I'm gonna get this thing put together. It's just, you gotta put the guard on, put this on. It's got the fittings and everything for that. And I'll bring you right back and we'll actually use this thing. And what I'm using it on, if you'll see this is a table I've been in process of working on. I've been done with the frame, got it all painted, and finally got some steel. And Derek, my son, he went over to Gulfport and he picked up a 4x8 sheet of 1/4 inch steel. Then he also bought, they gave him a half sheet 4x4 for $50. Brand new steel, never been used. So I went in with him and I purchased just what I needed for this table. It's 58 inches long by 27 inches this way. That gives me a 1-inch overhang all the way around on this frame. Well, there's not a whole lot of installation to this. It comes with this wrench here. That's what you tighten these up with. It's got a nut and a washer for that. And that would go on top of this. Now this just slips over and this nut tightens up. And pay attention how I got this flat piece right here. That's how you want it. When you're looking at it, you want this exactly like you see it. Now, one thing I noticed about this one, I got it set because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you got this hole here that you can use instead of the hole that was right here. Now, I watched a video and somebody was complaining about that. It was either with the Eastwood or the Hercules, that it wasn't left and right hand. This is either or, so I do like that. All right, now to get this wheel on, you got 2 key waves right here. You slip them in. They're little grooves here. You take this, slip it down. Just that easy. This thing is built really good. That's one thing I've noticed about Vevor over the last few years. Their quality on their tools have gotten way better. And I kind of look at shopping at Vevor kind of like I do Harbor Freight. Good, better, and best. But they don't actually tell you what's good, better, and best. That's where you're just going to have to look at the price. And I can tell you now, the higher something is, you know, usually the better it is. You know, that's true at anywhere. So here it is. It's ready to go. There's the handle. I'm gonna go ahead and clear all this off, and we're gonna start conditioning this top right here and see how this thing works. Now, so you know, before I get started, you can lock this in to where you ain't got to hold the trigger down all the time. And you also got variable speed right here from 1 all the way to 6. I tell you what, that looks pretty good. That was just one pass. You could definitely do multiple passes, but that's all I need. I'm just going to take and wipe this down with acetone. I'm going to paint this entire top, plus I'm going to paint my edges right here. And that way, when I flip it over, I just condition the other side, and I will just use some sort of rust deterrent on that. And just leave it bare, because I do plan on using this as sort of a welding table. Weld positioner is going to go right here. But as far as the tool goes, super impressed. Man, I did that like in no time. I could always go with a coarser drum, or I could just do multiple passes. But I like that because it's not getting into the metal at all. It's just got kind of more of a polished look just with one pass. So I took acetone, I went ahead and cleaned this surface really good, got any kind of grime and grit and all that off of it, cleaned it up. Then I took this rust encapsulating paint, and I went ahead and painted this entire surface, and I think it looks pretty good. Turned out pretty slick. I love this paint. It kind of, you know, even with a brush, it looks streaky until it starts drying, and all those streaks just go away. And I'm not promoting the paint, I'm just telling you how it does. It does real good. Almost has like a rubbery feel to it when it's all said and done. And I'm only putting one coat on it, and one coat tends or seems to be good enough for my needs. So after flipping this over, I went ahead and took, in 3 spots on this side equally, I took and cleaned off the paint here, tacked it 3 places. These are like 1.5-inch stitch wells under here. Did the same thing on the other end. Then on my 2 sides, I've got 5 stitch wells all the way down. And then that center brace that's running across, I've got 1 long tack right there, and that's good enough. This thing ain't going nowhere. It's good and solid. So now, after doing all the tacking, I come back with the paint, and well, first I took a wire brush and brushed all the smoke off of everything and wiped it down good. And then I went ahead and touched up all the places where I had to knock the paint off and welded. So everything looks great. My edges are painted. From here down, everything is fully painted. And that's where I'm at right now. So what I want to do is I went ahead and changed the wheel on this tool. This is at 36 grit. I want this side here to have more of a satin finish and go a little bit more deeper. And then, like I said, these do not remove the metal. These just really dig into whatever's on the surface, and this is going to do it even more. 36 grit. I did the other side at 80 grit. So let's go ahead and get this going and see how this turns out. This probably goes without saying, but I did get this plate where I have a 1-inch overhang all the way around. 1 inch here, there, and there. I wanted that little bit of an overhang. One thing I haven't mentioned about this tool, a couple of things. One thing, here is a button here. When you get ready to remove this drum with this bolt right here, you got to press this button in to lock it in position to where you can loosen that bolt. And also, this thing has a built-in soft start. And what that does, it prevents it, you know, prevents that kick you get a lot of times. I'll be honest with you, I wish all these power tools had a soft start. I've got an angle grinder. I'm not gonna mention the brand, but most of them are like that. When you turn that thing on, you better be hanging on, because it'll just about jump out of your hands. I mean, it's got a lot of kick. But if you notice, see how it starts real slow instead of kicking? And what's good about that, if you start it here, It's not going to just jump out of your hands. Oh, that's just what I'm wanting right there. And another good thing about the soft start is it's easier on the electrical system because you don't have that inrush current, and it's just easier on the tool overall. So what I'm going to do, I've got my edges painted here, so I don't want to go like this and then get into that paint and knock it back off. So I'm going to go this direction all the way around like this, here and over there, and make my first pass, and then I'll come in here and keep it all consistent to where I don't have to get over here on my edge. So if you're wondering if it gets mill scale off, it absolutely will get mill scale. Now, it takes a little while because, like I said, you're not removing material. You're actually removing what's on top of the metal. So it's going to take a little while. So I'm not going to worry too much about getting all that off, but what I am going to do right now is go ahead and put a rust inhibitor on this, and this is going to suit all my needs. So overall, looks really good. Well, there you go. Very handy tool. It's used a lot in the automotive, auto body industry for prepping the metal for paint and everything, and I can see why, because it does not get into the metal. It just takes off anything on top of the metal, such as rust. It'll remove paint and things like that. And as you've seen, with an aggressive enough drum on there, you can actually even take off mill scale, which normally you have to kind of get into the metal to do that. If you're interested in this tool, I'll have a link in the description box, and there could be a 5% code in there as well. So check it out. I'm Russ Jones with Skill Savvy DIY.